Hi, I'm Susan Allen, National President and CEO of the U.S. Pan-Asian American Chamber of Commerce Education Foundation. Welcome to Synergy Forward, the theme of our 2021 National Conference, Part 2. Part 1 was presented to you in June. To open the conference, we are honored to have with us Charlie Scharf, CEO, President, and member of the Board of Directors of Wells Fargo and Company. A financial services veteran with over 25 years of leadership roles in the banking and payments industries, Charlie was CEO and chairman of the Bank of New York Mellon and CEO and director of Visa Inc. At Bank of New York Mellon, he led change, drove results, strengthened operational risk and compliance, and innovated amid a rapidly evolving digital landscape. He transformed Visa into a digital commerce company with new technology to bring new payment experiences and improve payment system security. Together with his experiences at JP Morgan Chase, Bank One, Citigroup, and Solomon Smith Barney, he is a seasoned leader in financial services. And we're delighted to have this fireside chat with him. Thank you, Charlie. Let me begin by thanking Wells Fargo for the Open for Business grant. The bank took the fees it received from processing the PPP loans and donated them to the small and minority business community. And USPAACC is a recipient of the bank's generosity. And we are using the funds to help to educate, train, develop, and grow Pan-Asian American small businesses, especially those hardest hit by COVID-19 financially and personally. Charlie, what is the idea behind the Open for Business grant?
Sure. Well, Susan, thank you very much. It's great to be here, and I welcome the opportunity to have this discussion. Open for Business was pretty straightforward for us, which is we were a substantial participant in the PPP program. But at the time, we also recognized that the PPP program wasn't going to be able to serve all those that were in need for a whole bunch of reasons that I'm sure many of you know. We were going to get paid a substantial amount by the government to process those PPP loans. And we said that we actually believed that it was our responsibility to take that money and instead of report it as profit, to do with it what it was really designed to do, which was help support struggling small businesses on a very local basis across the country. Our focus was on helping diverse small businesses. About 80% of the fund is going to go to help small businesses. And we did it by partnering with many third parties who had a better understanding and had more of a reach into local communities. And so this is just one of the things that we've done to recognize that we play a significant role in this country that goes beyond what we do day in and day out. And given just the dire circumstances that many were living through during the pandemic, we thought it was appropriate to help wherever we could. And this was one place where we thought we could have a significant impact.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And we are doing exactly what the grant wanted us to do. But today, Charlie, small businesses are still struggling in post-pandemic recovery. Many were denied PPP funding because they were not, as you said, the bank's credit customers. And there were obstacles such as unfamiliarity with the government process and documentation requirements, just to name a couple. The pandemic revealed a phenomenon about Asian and other diverse business-owned businesses. Many are non-banked and without a credit history. So when times come for borrowing, they have no chance in Main Street. As a Main Street bank, Charlie, how does Wells Fargo serve small businesses, particularly Asian and other diverse businesses? Has the bank's approach to approach change during the pandemic? And how does Wells Fargo engage and add value to its relationship with the small business community?
Yeah, I know you refer to us as a Main Street bank. We have a long history of working as closely as we can with the local communities in which we operate. The issue of people not being banked by the larger banks certainly isn't something that's new. But I do think that, COVID-19 has brought, an appropriate amount of attention to it. There's still about 7 million unbanked households in the U.S. We all know that they resort to very often, high cost services that will support them, which can cost a substantial amount of money. And so, as we think about what we can do, we first ask the question, do we have all the products that are appropriate for those that are in the underbanked today? We have several initiatives underway to try and access or to allow others to access our products that didn't in the past. We rolled out a product called Clear Access Banking, which is a product that doesn't allow people to overdraft, which is the source sometimes of significant fees for people. And that product, we're really towards the beginning of it, but we do think that that'll be appropriate for many more than who would have been interested in our services before we offered that product. We've also created something what we call the Banking Inclusion Initiatives, which is this is an initiative where we're really stepping back and looking at all of the things that we do and how we do it as a large bank and asking the question, why don't people bank with us? What stands in the way? We're working with third parties. We've created an advisory board with a very diverse representation as part of that. And what we hope that comes out of that is a series of new initiatives that we can then implement in the marketplace so that we can reach a substantial group of that unbanked population. And I do just want to say that because thank you for your comments on the grant that we did award you. But I do think that just we're really proud to be a partner with you all. We work towards similar goals. And, in that respect, as we think about the role that we play in our business, but also in our philanthropy and using our resources, we want to help businesses succeed. We want individuals to succeed. And as I said earlier, we need partners to do that. And partners like you both educate us, but have a reach that we don't as well. And so we're really thrilled to be able to do that.
Well, Charlie, that's just music to our ears because USPAACC and Wells Fargo have an 18-year partnership built on a successful, sustained, and mutually beneficial commitment to help diverse businesses to succeed. As you said, we both believe that if they succeed, and we believe we succeed. Together, we have created a variety of programs over the years to train, develop, and show the talents, resources, and capacity of Asian American-owned businesses across the country, and to let corporations and governments know that when they need qualified minority suppliers in different industries, USPAACC is here to connect them to suppliers that we, USPAACC, have certified for over 20 years as an Asian American and or other minority suppliers. So Charlie, would you tell the audience how Wells Fargo connects and contracts with minority businesses through the supply diversity market? How would you like USPAACC to continue to help and expand your goals to impact our community positively?
Sure. So again, yes, two separate questions in there. So let me tackle both of them. First of all, our approach to contracting with minority businesses. I think first of all, what's most important is that it's an important goal of the company. And so whether it's our centralized sourcing group or whether it's business leaders across the company that interact with potential suppliers, people understand that, we do intend to dedicate a significant amount of our spend towards diverse suppliers. The way we implement that is in our supply chain management group, having a head of supplier diversity within that group who's responsible for increasing the level of spend that we have with diverse suppliers. In 2020, we spent nearly $1.4 billion with diverse suppliers. Of that 1.4, roughly $440 million or so was spent with certified Asian-owned businesses. And that number is going up slightly as the years progress. Over the past 3 years, we've spent more than $1.2 billion with Asian-owned certified businesses. So I do think, making the statement, that's important. Having dedicated management around it and tracking and reporting your results is extremely important. But we also, as I said before, understand that we can't do it alone through just our program. We need to work in partnership with others. And so, to that effect, we support the Asian community through financial education, college scholarships, small business loans, and local as well as national focused not-for-profits. As I said, you're an extremely important partner of ours in that regard. I think we've partnered since 2003, and we're incredibly proud of the work that we do together. I think, as you know, we sponsor a sponsorship at this conference. There have been small business grants, and as well as last year after the just despicable anti-Asian hate incidents, we provided support as well. So, when you ask your second question of what can you do, our answer is keep doing exactly what you've been doing, and let's make sure that we stay close and that we can figure out where we can be supportive of all the things that where you can have an impact.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Some of the Asian American suppliers the diversity suppliers that you have contracted with, out of the 1.2 billion, the 400, and some of them are USPAACC members, and we're delighted that they're also our longstanding members as well. And as to the funds that you allow us to use to help the Asian businesses which have been hit by the anti-Asian violence and rhetoric. Last week, one of my representatives flew over to San Francisco, and with the organization to help the San Francisco Chinatown, which has over 900 businesses in that Chinatown who've been hit by the pandemic, and we presented the Wells Fargo's contribution to them, $50,000. Okay, so I can't help with it, but that's just part of that. Charlie, thank you so much. And diversity in the workplace is gaining traction, Charlie, in corporate America, but minorities representation is still low. We have amazing top-level talents out there, not just for the back office positions, but higher. Yet boardrooms and C-suites still do not represent the diversity of America. Many say that corporations are not trying hard enough. How does Wells Fargo ensure that the Asian American segment is well represented at its C-suite level? And how do you promote diversity among your executives and ensure that seats in the bank's board and other corporations are also open for qualified Asian American folks in the community? Are you happy about the progress made so far?
Sure. I would say, the answer is yes. I am happy that we've made significant progress over the past year, but we have an incredible amount of more work to do. And so I think, it's important for us is that we recognize that we should play a leadership role as the company that we are, and we want people to look at, certainly what I control. I want people to look at our management group and to say, the management group is representative of the country. And historically, that hasn't been the case in most financial institutions, for sure. It isn't the case today yet either, but we're closer to that certainly than we were a year and a half ago. I do think you need to lead by example, and you need to make sure that when you're hiring and promoting people, that you're looking as broadly as you can for the most successful people, not just through people that who ultimately could look like you, or people you've worked with in the past who also could look like you, but cast that net wide and say, who is the most qualified? Mm-hmm. And so, we have added significant diversity to our operating committee, which is the senior most group inside the company. There are two representatives who are Black African American. We have one who's Hispanic, and we just hired a new head of human resources for the company, a woman named Bei Ling, who reports directly to me as well. An incredibly important role inside the company. And We didn't target specific numbers. We said we're going to go look for the very best talent, and that's what we found. And then we also are working to create a pipeline across the whole company, and that's really stepping back and making sure we've got representation at all levels, but also that we're listening to people who work here and experience what it's like to work at Wells Fargo. And we launched an executive forum consisting of our 70 senior-most Asian American and Pacific Islanders from across the senior leaders in the company, who gather monthly with myself and our head of diversity across the company. And we talk about what we need to do differently. And out of that comes a list of initiatives that we then work together on and report back on and move forward. So I do think, this is all about making a real commitment, but most importantly, ensuring that the results at the end of the year are reflective of the words that you're using. And so I do feel very good that we've made progress. I refer to this as it's a sprint, but it's also a marathon. It's a sprint because we should make progress quickly. We should show people that we really care, but also recognize that this is a long-term commitment that needs to be built in the culture of the company.
Well, Charlie, I know that because when you started to take those actions, I was there with some of your senior executives, and I was pleased that they actually came down to our level and consulted with us. I was very aware of all that you have doing, but I want the audience to hear it directly from you, because as the observer very closely, because of our relationship, our 18-year sustained and successful relationship that created a support system to help to train, educate, and help to develop Asian Americans to enter, sustain, and succeed in mainstream market. We're very proud of what you have done, Charlie, what you have started, and what you are going to continue to do. And we really want to tell you that we'll be there on the side, helping you out, and whatever you need, we're here. We have a 80-year history with you, and we have a 36 history in the organization, reaching out across the country. And by the way, the SBA acknowledged that. And last week, they announced that USPAACC is among one of eight top eight tier one national level grantee for their $100 million award for the Community Navigator Program. And we'll be working very closely with Wells Fargo in concert with your goals, which is so in lockstep with the SBA's goal. So with all that background, and I want to tell you, in recognition of a corporate member's substantial history of contribution to the training, development, growth of Pan-Asian American businesses, and on behalf of USPAACC, our National Board of Directors, USPAACC regional chapters, and membership, now it is my great pleasure to present the Wells Fargo Legacy Award to Wells Fargo, and I'd like you to receive it on behalf of the bank. Congratulations, Charlie.
Well, Susan, thank you very much. It's just, it's hard to put into words the kind of, this kind of recognition, because, we have goals. We talk about the types of things that we want to do. But ultimately, the judge is going to be people outside the company who are going to tell us whether or not we're living up to our expectations and your expectations. So it means more than you know. And as I said earlier, we just value the partnership that we've had incredibly. And we look forward to doing a tremendous amount more in the future to really continue to make a difference. So thank you very much on behalf of everyone here at Wells Fargo.
Well, thank you, Charlie, for today's fireside chat, and also in last year in June when you also spoke to us and all the Wells Fargo under your leadership as CEO, president, and member of the board of directors. Thank you so much. Please send our thanks to the the whole team at Wells Fargo.
We will indeed.
Well, come out next is our Synergy panel, where we highlight each organization and discuss how major minority and diverse nonprofit small business certifying organizations work together to create a hospitable and welcoming environment for minority-owned, women-owned, disability-owned, LGBT-owned and veteran-owned businesses. Don't miss it. See you there.